Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what can you expect from the Mike Litton Experience? You can expect stories that will inspire, motivate, advice that will sharpen your focus, and expert information on real estate, finance, and market conditions.
You train for entry and exit control points. You train for security measures, all security measures. You train for convoy security, knowing your rules of engagement, because you're still when we go to Iraq, we don't stay. There's some people that stay on base the entire time because that's where their job is at. There's some, and there's the grunts that go out and they do the work, do the groundwork. The ones that get into it, and then there's support units. We were a support unit. As an MP, you're just supporting the operations, and if a vehicle gets blown up and you have to go recover it, we went out and recovered the vehicle, brought it back to base. But we have to know our guns. We have to have our guns. We have to be trained up in returning fire, and be trained up in knowing your what's that? Your sectors of fire. You know what I mean? So with communication. So you're just doing convoys. Convoys was the biggest thing. Convoy security.
So when you would go out in the field and you would recover a vehicle, was it possible that you were walking into an ambush?
Oh, it's always possible, always. But I think if you show enough force, then they usually don't mess with you.
Okay.
I mean, we always have 5 or 6 gun trucks. We go up, we secure the area, then the wrecker would come in and do its job while we provide security.
Right.
Or if we have to go, I think one of my best compliments that I got was when I was in Iraq, because I went to Iraq in 2004, I went to Afghanistan in 2010. So there's a big time gap between both those two. In 2004, we didn't have up armored Humvees. We had the zip doors, and IEDs had barely started coming out. They weren't as prevalent as they were after I left.
Right.
And but yeah, that's what we had. We had a quick reaction force truck, which was just a hide back, and there's no protection over us. It was just a regular hide back from Vietnam style.
Right.
So I mean, the ones that went into the war, the initial invasion, they had, that's what they had too, and so that's what we had on the second run. And then on the end of my tour, that's when the up armored Humvee started coming in.
Right.
And so I was a turret gunner, and I was like an E3, and so I sat on top of the truck behind the 50 cal or the 240 or the Mark 19. So that was my job. I was the turret gunner, just a gunner.
Yeah.
I carried the M249 SAW, which is the small arms machine gun. Yeah. That's what I did in 2004. In 2010, when I went to Afghanistan, I only did 1-on-1 and a humanitarian in the middle. In Afghanistan, I was the combat commander. I was a sergeant. I was with a motor T platoon, or a motor T company, I should say. And then we had our two security teams out of the MPs. And both of our security teams, the combat commanders are sergeants, and in the motor T sections, the combat commanders were lieutenants.
Right.
So it's usually a lieutenant, but I don't know, I got it. So my biggest compliment was when we when we refueled one of the recon teams out there in Afghanistan, and we went out there and did a whole 360 security setup, and then with an extra entry and exit, put the fuel tank in the fuel truck in the middle, 360 security, around that, and then had an entry section coming in so the recon trucks could come in and fill up. And the gunny that was on the recon team, he's like, this is probably one of the better refueling stations, security stations I've come across.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
I was like, all right, it made me feel good. It made me feel
That's
good
saying
that
something, dude.
doing the job that needs to be done. And
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't the best Marine, but I try to do the best job I could.
Yeah. Sounds like it. So you mentioned mock Neo. What is that?
That's when you evacuate personnel from a base or
Okay.
from a structure.
Okay.
Usually, like the movie Rules of Engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to that.
So like an embassy kind of thing.
An embassy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
embassy evacuation.
Love that movie, by the way.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Yeah, rules of engagements. It can be tricky sometimes.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Okay. So after 8 years, you decide to separate from the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go from there?
I go back to Texas for a year. I go back to Texas. To stay with my parents. I told my mom that I'd come back when I get out. I'd come back. I'd do a year back at home but yeah, that's where I went. That's where I went back to Texas, South Texas. They had moved to Edinburgh, so I went to Edinburgh, Texas.
Gotcha. So did you work for the year you were out there?
I didn't. Before I left the Marines, I got introduced to the network marketing industry.
Okay.
Multi-level marketing,
Okay.
Amway. Yeah.
Okay.
I got introduced to that in 2010, and I got out in 2011. And so I kind of had that on my mind. I learned about, entrepreneurship, got the idea of entrepreneurship, building a business, working for yourself, time over money, more money than time, that kind of thing. So ever since then, I've always just had that in my mind, like, well, I want to be out of this rat race. I want my financial freedom, because if I'm financially free, then I can not just do whatever I want, but I can do more.
Yeah.
I can spend time, when it comes to relationships, I can actually spend time with people. I don't have to worry about checking in tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Right.
I don't want to live like that.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a noble goal, dude. I mean, you get an opportunity to deepen your relationships. So after a year, where do you go?
Well, while I was down there, I went to I really didn't have a plan of exactly what I was going to do. I just knew whatever I did, I was going to succeed. I knew that. I knew I could do that. But I didn't really have a vehicle for me to actually succeed in that actually resonated with me. Went to school, went to the University of Texas, Pan American, I used the GI Bill to figure things out.
Mhm.
Went to school for a little bit, like a semester. Didn't really, it was didn't find the value in it, I should say.
Okay.
Taking algebra classes, I don't never use algebra. I've been in the world for a little while already. I haven't used algebra.
Yeah.
Just things that didn't interest me, and so it just wasn't for me. After a year in Texas, I was like, what, I gotta get back to California, because I always saw California as the land of more opportunity.
Mhm.
It's where you kind of, California dreaming is where you go and chase your dreams.
Yeah, it's true.
So I always saw it that way. So I came back to California. I was here for about 5 years, still trying to figure it out, hanging around people, part of the network marketing industry, that were succeeding. So I got to be around, those type of mindsets. But I was also using the GI Bill to go to school over here, community college. To be honest, just using the GI Bill so I can get that BH and I can live, right?
Right.
And then try to figure things out. But along that way, I did I did go to school for web and graphic design too. Went for school for culinary arts for like a couple quarters, web and graphic design a couple quarters at the Art Institute. Went to massage therapy school back in San Antonio. Went to personal training school here in California. So I was able to just go around to different things and just trying to figure out exactly where I land. My
Mhm.
biggest question for myself was, where do I fit in society? What value do I bring to society? Where can I put myself?
Right.
Where do I belong? That was my biggest question for myself for
Cool.
for a good 5, 6, 7 years.
So you tried those things out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And at some point you decide to get into moving. Talk
Um,
about that for a second.
well, for the moving part is I was here in California about 5 or 6 years. Then I moved back to Texas because I got myself in some debt, just trying to figure it out. So I
Hmm.
moved back to Texas for a year, and I got a job at the Lackland Air Force Base as a materials handler in the warehouse.
Hmm.
And I did that for about 9 months to a year, and I just it was so monotonous and um so you know just so monotonous, and people didn't seem like people really wanted to be there. They were just there for their paycheck, and it was just there for security,
Hmm.
and it just wasn't for me. And so I was like, and I got a call to come back to California, to San Diego, and help open up a fitness studio, which was had a sister partner that was a massage studio. So I
Hmm.
was like, oh, this is perfect, fitness, massage,
Yeah,
um, makes sense to me. So
sure.
told my parents, go back to California, and that's when I came back over here in 2016. It was, and when I came out of here, the fitness studio didn't do what it was supposed to do. So I got laid off like 6 months into it, and then from there, I didn't really know how I was gonna make any money. I came across this app on Instagram. It's like gig work. This when the gig economy was really, like, I guess, starting to take off a little bit. Maybe it's probably before then, but that's when I really got a hold of it. Um, delivering using the bed of your pickup truck to deliver like TVs, sofas, anything you can fit in the back of your pickup truck.
Hmm.
On-demand delivery service. So I just started doing that with the pickup truck that I had. Um, you know, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
That's
So
why
you start doing that. How long did you do it?
I did it for about a year
Hmm.
through that app company until I was like, you know what, I think I can do this on my own.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, I got a break with a small little furniture mom and pop furniture store down in Spring Valley that just started giving me these jobs, these little deliveries that they had, mattresses, sectional sofas. And I just did it all by myself. I didn't really have a partner. Got help whenever I could find it, but other than that, it was just at the time I had a girlfriend at the time when I first started. I didn't have $300. I needed $300 to fix my windshield, and she loaned me $300 so I could fix my windshield and get started. And so I was negative 300 when I started.
Hmm.
And yeah, once I got that windshield fixed, it was off to the races.
Yeah.
They were paying like $25 for a delivery for the first 30 minutes. And I told myself, wow, like if I can make $150 a day, then that's 3,000 a month, and I can pay my rent, and I can eat, and I can provide for myself. And that's all I wanted, was just, make that at that moment, because that's all I could see. That's as far
Sure.
as you can see, as far as you need to go.
Yeah. Hand to
Uh,
mouth, right? Yeah. You
yeah.
just you just do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to get here. How do I get there? So I
Hmm.
got there, and then the first day I made $300 in a day. I was like, oh wow! I was like, the first day I made $300 in a day. I got my truck towed that same day, so I lost that $300.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the same night. So I worked like 10 hours. I didn't know my value. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know what, maybe it's not even my value or my worth, but I didn't know the value of the work that I was doing.
Right.
And so I was getting paid, $30 here, $20 there, just taking whatever I could get. And until I started realizing how to, uh, and I'm still learning how to properly price things out.
Right.
Um, with the deliveries, I think I got the deliveries on point, um, especially with the reputation that we built. But yeah, I forgot where I was going.
That's all right. So where you were, so you got your truck towed. You made $300 in a day, got your truck towed, which cost you $300. So you're back to zero, right?
Yeah.
So after that, you started figuring out what your worth was, right? In terms of what you could build to an extent, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What I could build, I've always, and one of my the guys that works with me, he calls me turtle soup because I'm just always slow to really get things going. It's because I always want to see what the results are based off the work, therefore I can adjust. It's hard to go into the unknown just by, okay, let me throw money at this, throw money at that, and not know what it's going to produce.
Right.
But if I can put my work ethic and my work into it, I know what it's going to produce.
Right.
Not really what the money will produce. So until you get to a certain level, then you can say, all right, now I can throw money at this, or I can throw money at that.
Right.
But in the beginning, it's just all about work ethic and whatever it is that you bring to that table.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. So how long ago was it that your truck was towed?
Oh, that was that was 2000. That was when I first started, so 2017, early 2017 maybe.
Okay, so about 7 years ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Since then you've been delivering and hauling and that kind of thing, right?
Yep. I've just been just whatever jobs I can take, whatever jobs I got, I get them done, and then all the money that I would make, I'll just buy another tool, buy another this, buy another that, just continue to invest into my arsenal so that way I can have more to provide for the people.
Gotcha. So today, what's your specialty?
I just say general and specialized labor. I think because we have guys now that we can do anything really. So I really don't have a specialty. I just know that unless this is the specialty, that if you need general or specialized labor that you can trust, and then we're the go-to team.
Okay.
Because I don't bring just anybody on. I do vet them. I let my team vet them too, so that way they keep each other accountable. And it's not just about me vetting, because anybody can bring you a resume and anybody can talk anything, but it all depends on what they do out in the field.
Sure.
So, and how they act and their attitude out in the field. So I let my team kind of vet that out there and see how they operate. And if they don't mesh well with us, then we just get rid of them.
Yeah. So proof's in the pudding, right?
Or proof's in the pudding, or they just change their attitude and they get back into work.
So if somebody has a need, let's say they have something they need moved, what would they specifically call you guys for?
We can do it. There's nothing specific, honestly, because we do pianos, we do hot tubs, we can do a full house move, we can do a pack job, we can hoist items over the balcony, we can deliver
pretty much anything we need moved.
Anything
we can
that needs
contact
to be moved,
you.
I'll figure out how to get it moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what's the name of your company?
Mission Minded, moving, deliveries, and junk removal.
I've heard of Mission Minded. I've seen your trucks.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I live in Oceanside, by the way, so
Okay.
I've seen you guys around.
Yeah.
That's
We're
cool,
about to get more trucks too, bigger trucks.
So why the name Mission Minded?
Because everything's a task.
Yeah.
When you sent us, right? I mean, it came from the mill. My girlfriend became my wife, and she would always say, "Oh, you get into mission mode." Where nothing else matters, just what's in front of me and getting this job done. That's how I eat, that's how I live.
Yeah.
So and when you get out of the military, or just for anybody, not even out of the military, but everybody needs a mission.
Yeah.
Everybody, and even if it's a small daily task mission, you need a mission.
Yeah.
And I feel like what this does is general labor, specialized labor. You do have to be able to use your body. You do have to be strong. You do have to understand your kinesiology and how to pick something up, and using your legs and not your back. And if you want the longevity, you need to learn how to use your dollies and your straps and whatever it takes to make sure that the job gets done efficiently and proficiently. So that, it's not as mindless as maybe some people would think, even though it is, there are some moments of that, where it just becomes brute strength. But you're still in it. You're in a game. So yeah, yeah, and people need it. Like right now, I started with the intention of bringing on veterans that needed what I needed when I first got out. Just a stepping stone, a place where I can go and make $150 a day or whatever the case may be, and go home and try to figure out what I need to do with my life.
Yeah.
The veterans, I still have a few of them, but more recently, I think God has brought in other types of people that need that need an opportunity as well, and that would be more of the people that need the second chances in life. And whether for their background, for whatever reason, on their background, wherever they're at, where they're at in their life, these are the guys that have been through the worst and you can see it in their talk, you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their walk, that they've come out of that pain, they've come out of that hardship in a better state.
Right.
And so they're really grateful for the opportunities in front of them. They're grateful for life. They're grateful to get up and go to work on a daily basis. And so it's kind of evolved into that.
Gotcha.
I guess we're kind of bridging the gap a little bit when it comes to having the veterans that have the leadership that can probably lead some of these guys that never had the leadership.
Right.
And I think it's a good combination. Hasn't fully been formed yet, but I think it'll be coming together.
It's a process.
It's a process.
It'll take time, and you'll invest in these people, right? Some of them it'll come back to you tenfold, right? Some of them, they'll just disappear. But as long as you stick to what your culture is and you stick to what your standards are, you'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
So the name of your company is Mission Minded, right? Let's talk about, in the last 12 months, let's talk about a mission that you're the most proud of. Just one in particular that sticks out. Could be more than 12 months.
I'm proud of the mission in its entirety. There's not really one single job that sticks out to me. But the idea of mission minded, planting a flag, and myself starting with less than $300, right, negative $300, and then 7 years later, without doing any type of real marketing or advertising, being able to sit here and being reached out by you, and I don't do any marketing or advertising. It's just letting the work speak for itself.
Right. I got you.
Yeah,
so it's all reputation.
It's all reputation.
Okay.
That's my proudest part.
I got you. So let's go back last 12 months, 24 months, something like that, right? What was your most challenging mission? You mentioned something about hoisting something over a balcony.
The most challenging mission isn't necessarily in the jobs on the field. The most challenging mission is the mission. Sorry, it goes back to, there's not just planting the flag, but this whole building a business and building a reputation that you envision in your mind,
right?
And building a business that can provide for others. That's the challenge within it. That's the challenge. That's the biggest challenge.
I got you.
You can watch those videos of entrepreneurs where they're how am I going to pay payroll this week or that month or this or that, or where's this month? So it's keeping the faith, right? Always try to like not get stressed out because it's just all about the faith. If you have faith, then there should be no stress.
Right.
If you truly have faith, then you shouldn't be stressing because God will provide. And he does, even if it's not as much as you believe it should be or you wish it would be, he still provides every time.
Right. I got you. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to live, man. It's a good way to live.
Yeah. That's why
So,
I have a little bit of gray hairs, thanks to God.
just a couple, right? Just a couple.
Yeah.
You're getting there, bud. I got you beat by a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I just turned 40.
There you go.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
yeah.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
So mission-minded, where do you see the company in 5 years?
Definitely as a pillar here in San Diego, as a pillar to the San Diego community, and definitely in Texas, and maybe even North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started expanding little by little, but first taking ground here in Oceanside and San Diego and really becoming a pillar. Because once you become that pillar, then you just point this direction to show the proof, and then everywhere else will follow.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to cover before we wrap up?
No, I just really appreciate the time and thank you for reaching out and giving me the opportunity to speak a little bit.
I'm excited to get to know you, man. I'm excited that our listeners are going to have an opportunity to get to know who you are and what you're about and where you came from, that kind of thing. So there'll be a lot of things about your life that people will be able to connect with. So if somebody's looking to move, if somebody's looking to have, if somebody has a mission for you, right? Like they're moving a household, they're moving a business, that kind of thing, how can they reach you?
You go to our website at missionmindedmoving.com, missionmindedmoving.com, or you can just give us a call at 760-529-6020. 1-800-MISSION is our vanity number, so you can call us there too. Yeah.
Give us the 760 number again.
760-529-6020.
There you go. Cool. All right, buddy. Well, listen, thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. This has really been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure and appreciate it very much.
You got it, buddy. We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.